Beyond the fact that it was television and not theatrical movies, were you concerned about, it's still Star Trek. I mean, it's still, even the Next Generation first season was still bound to be some sort of a cultural, make a cultural impact.
And in the spotlight.
And in the spotlight. Were you concerned about being typecast?
You couldn't, I didn't see it as such. I didn't see it as a cultural landmark or, that it would have any, as a matter of fact, the hate mail we were getting was extreme. I mean, the sentiment was not positive.
From hardcore original Trek fans mostly?
Yeah. It was like, this was their golden cow, they couldn't touch this.
Sure.
And it was like, how dare you?
Which is so interesting because it's like, well, do you want, we could give you nothing?
No.
Like, there's that.
No, man.
Like, this is something that was, like, look, when I first watched Encounter at Farpoint, Encounter at Farpoint,
yes.
I felt like, okay, well, this is not perfect, but it is something that there's some intelligence behind it.
Yes.
They're really trying.
Right, they're trying.
And that with some work, this could get there.
I felt that way too, man. I felt like, okay, because I saw it in college, and it was like a huge group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got to the end, there's this moment when Deanna Troi has this little line, and she goes something about it's togetherness, and I'm like, oh, come on. But like you said, I thought, you know what? This is a good effort. I
something
like
to
the
build
effort, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to stick with
and
it.
their hearts were in the right place.
Yeah.
That's what happened. We won them over.
Yes.
And everybody, and the other thing is that everybody was good. Like they were really good actors all across the board.
Right.
And that was something to see, because before that, we have Star Trek from the 60s, and then from that point on, it got into Buck Rogers from the 24th century and all this kind of stuff. Everything very tongue-in-cheek, and to have this show that looks so great, real actors.
They took science fiction seriously.
Yeah.
And I think it really paved the way for almost every now modern science fiction show, because it showed that you can do a show like that, have good writing, have good production values, and it will succeed.
Yeah. Right.
When did you kind of sense the tide turning? After the first season, or?
I mean, I just approached everything with the same intention. To be the best actor I could be.
Sure.
It didn't matter, if it was horror, if it was sci-fi, if it was comedy. It was the same. My job is what I knew how to be an actor in. So I expected no less. I mean, you've got Patrick Stewart, you've got Brent Spiner, you've got LeVar. These Will Wheaton was, by the way, the most famous.
That's right.
At that point.
Right, yes.
And and everybody, and Gates came from a very different background. All of us were these. That's what's kind of beautiful. I mean, we're all very strangely different in our histories and our pasts.
Kind of worked,
it did, because we mutually gave space and respected each other. My beef with the show was always the writing. The first year writing, I was all over the map and wasn't there. And again,
I agree. It took a while to kind of get into its rhythm.
And we know that once Michael Piller came on, I think that helped a lot. And I just, again, coming from where I was coming from this film, theater, indie world, I thought, what am I couldn't stand around going, aye, aye, Captain, and hours and hours and hours I would stand there. I begged them, just make legs. Just make my legs. Because I was on the bridge and it was above the captain's age thing and I didn't do anything. And I was serious. They used to go, oh, Denise, I go, no, just make my legs. And then I'll come in, and do, if this is what
How much would
this
Tasha
is going to
Yar's
be.
legs be worth?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.